Do you want to know what my biggest regret from full-time RV life was? I don't think I'm alone. It's a pretty easy mistake to make. If you are moving into an RV or a van and aren't keeping a home base, then you essentially have to fit your entire life into a closet-sized space. You may not have time to get it all done, especially if you're selling a house and you have to keep it staged and ready to go and you can't really start getting rid of stuff early, or you might have a short timeline before closing, or maybe you haven't fully embraced a minimalist mindset just yet and aren't quite ready to let go of your things. Or maybe you're just not ready to commit to a nomadic lifestyle. Maybe you're doing it out of necessity, or it's just a temporary stop onto something else for you. I checked every one of these boxes and that's how I got into this mess. So if you haven't figured it out yet, my biggest mistake in RV life was basically too much stuff. And I don't just mean packing too much stuff in my camper, because I definitely did that. But in my opinion, this was actually much worse and has made my life a lot more difficult. And that is this. For what I have spent on storage fees, I probably could have replaced a lot of it by now. When I sold my house 3 years ago, I really had no intention of living in a camper long term. It was just kind of a temporary stop for me. And I wasn't really ready to let go of my kind of sticks and bricks comfortable lifestyle and all my things. After about 18 months, I had a pretty big life change that forced me to come out of the camper and move back into a house for a while. Then I had some more life changes that kind of prevented me from going through and getting rid of all this stuff or doing something with it. So for 3 years, I've had all this stuff in storage and haven't really known what to do with it and haven't really been able to make a whole lot of progress. When I packed it up, I thought it would be for a few months until I could find some land or buy a house. It turned into 3 years before I knew it. And life had other plans for me. Now that I have rounded the bend, I'm ready to get these girls out again and go find some new adventure. And this storage unit is what's standing in my way. So I've got to get it cleared out finally. I have given myself 2 weeks to go from this to this before I have to pay another month in fees. I'm not sure how I'll get it done or what I'll do with all this stuff, but I have a really big why to finally start tackling it now. I knew selling everything I owned would be difficult because I have done it before. But what I've realized through this process is that it was not just nostalgia or overwhelm that was keeping me from letting these things go. It was the dreams these objects once held and the visions of my life they represented, the different identities I've held. Letting go of these things meant letting go of those dreams, those identities, those visions of who I was or who I wanted to be. When I packed up this storage unit, it was a temporary holding place until I could realize my next dream and build my mountain homestead. I thought I could just lift and shift all this stuff into a new location and pick up my life where I had left off. But the universe had other plans for me, and I didn't find that dream land where I could build my forever home. And in fact, life shifted in a way I never could have predicted, sending me into my deepest grief. In the midst of that, I also faced a health struggle that forced me into a long recovery, a winter season. I was forever changed from these experiences, and some of the dreams I had before no longer had the same pull. Like a seed that is germinated in a wildfire, I began to see a new vision for myself growing in the ashes of my old life, and I began to embrace this new dream. Now I am finally ready to let those old dreams die and release all the stuff that went with them. My new dream is to feel like I am truly living, fully experiencing this life and all of its joy and sorrow, and not just getting through each of my days. I want to explore all the beauty of this country. 15 years after the first time I sold everything to travel the country with my dog. When life pulled me in another direction that time, I put that dream on hold for over a decade and thought that dream had died. But now I'm dreaming of van life once again, exploring those places I missed when my travels were cut short and returning to the places where my soul felt most at home. It is time for me to step into my next season of life, my wildflower season. And this storage unit and all of this stuff is one of the biggest barriers I face to moving forward, and now I have to get it done. So you're probably wondering if I got it done. The good news is I did. It's been a long 2 weeks. I faced Georgia summer heat and humidity, if you know, you know, and physical exhaustion as my body continues to heal after months of dormancy. It was a real mess as I kind of just threw things in haphazardly. I didn't have a lot of time before I had to close on my house, so didn't have a lot of time to get it right. Took a lot of trips to storage and a lot of work, but it's done. My kitchen items were probably the hardest to let go of. Food is kind of my love language. I love cooking for my people. I once had a dream of homesteading. I really tried to lean into that during COVID when I lived alone and had nothing else to do. So when I packed up my kitchen, I really thought it was temporary, just for a few months until I would have another kitchen. But life had other plans. My experience with grief and illness really kind of changed some things about me and made me rethink my vision for my life and what I want for myself. But now, after some time to heal, I'm ready to lean into this new dream, which means letting the old dream go. Even though it was sad to kind of let go of that dream I had of my dream kitchen again, where I would cook for friends and family, it was bittersweet knowing that I was able to bless a young newlywed couple with basically like an entire kitchen. So I like thinking of them cooking meals for their growing family using my favorite pot and all the things I gave them. I should tell you that I rented another storage unit. It is about a third of the size and honestly a fraction of the cost. There are some things that I did want to keep. Come back next week to find out what I just couldn't part with. And also, if you'd like to see what it takes to get ready for full-time van life, join me. Ciao.